Zoho has a ton of software. That's like their thing, is having a massive dump truck full of different apps that do everything that your business wants to be able to do. So I always get the question, Peter, I know that I want some Zoho software. I don't know what to buy though. Do I get Zoho One, which is every single app? Do I get a bundle, which is a few of the apps stuck together? Do I just pay for them individually? What's the smartest way of doing this? In the next few videos, we're going to go over your different options. We have a little calculator and a spreadsheet that you can use yourself. And we'll kind of cover our ideas for the smartest way to start with Zoho and to pay for it. So yeah, watch on and you'll figure out how to get the most value out of the Zoho suite. First up to bat, the Big Daddy bundle, the best deal in software, Zoho One. The next video, I will go over every single app in Zoho One briefly. We have other resources for you to learn more about which apps are included. There's over 45 of them. I'm just scrolling down this list. It just keeps going and going and going. This is everything Zoho has to offer. And it is $30 per employee per month, or $75 if you're paying flexibly. There are videos about this pricing. Just be aware, this is per employee and you have to pay for all employees. See, must purchase license for all employees. The end of the lesson, there are a couple videos that go into that pricing and answer some frequently asked questions about that. But generally, Zoho One, if you are going to be using many Zoho apps, is the best deal, generally. Watch on to get some more info about what other bundles there are and paying a la carte. Sometimes Zoho One isn't the answer, but generally this is going to be the best deal. Okay, buckle up. CRM, sales and marketing automation, organize your sales team, your whole organization, every customer-facing piece of data in one spot. Bookings, replace Calendly, allow people to be able to book appointments with you, see your calendar, automate that whole process. Marketing Hub, marketing automation tied to your website. Campaigns, email marketing blasts synced perfectly with your CRM. Zoho Social, social media scheduling and marketing. Survey, send customer surveys. Forms, gather customer data in forms, integrate it directly to your CRM and other Zoho apps. Sites, build a website. Website optimization, this is page sense, heat maps and customer recordings. Sales IQ, customer live chat and tracking on your website. Backstage, create websites and all the structure for an event that you're holding. Zoho Desk, customer support and ticketing across multiple different channels. Zoho Assist, remote login to your customers' computers and help them fix stuff. Email hosting, replace Gmail or Outlook or whatever you're using. Click, replace Slack. Projects, replace whatever task management you're using. Sprints, if you do development. Connect, internal Facebook for your entire company to collaborate and talk and share stories. Showtime, teach on a web platform. Webinar and meeting, just what it sounds like. WorkDrive, replace Google Drive or OneDrive. 5 terabytes to start with. Productivity, all of the Microsoft Office or Google Suite replacement apps, documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. Sign, digital signatures, replace DocuSign. This is one of my favorites. Vault, password management across your entire organization. Finance, bookkeeping, replace QuickBooks, NetSuite, whatever you're using for bookkeeping and accounting. Expense tracking for all your employees. Subscription management, inventory management, serial numbers, batch tracking, all sorts of cool stuff in this one. Human resources, an HRIS system to track all of your employees. Recruitment, applicant tracking system to be able to quickly post job postings and get applicants and centralize all of them in one place. You can even integrate this with your email marketing platform too, to email all your candidates at the same time. Analytics, business intelligence. Zoho Creator, create any custom application you could ever want and integrate it really tightly with Zoho. Flow is like Zapier, connect all of them together. Orchestrally, managing processes between your whole organization. All of that, Zoho One. All right, it's time for the shock and awe strategy. I want you to just take a look at all these icons. These are all of the apps that you will have access to when you use Zoho One. You get them all at enterprise level access. Look at this, the mother of all Google Chrome windows. I've opened up 80% or so of the apps in these tabs, and I want to just walk you through them real fast. Zoho Work Drive, 5 terabytes of cloud storage, integrates really well with other Zoho apps. Really nice desktop sync when you want to sync desktops across your company. That's super nice. Zoho Vault, password storage, and one-click sign-on across your entire organization. Zoho Survey, the ability to create surveys and sync them back to Zoho CRM. Zoho Subscriptions, create and process subscriptions. Zoho Social, integrate it with your LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and have a social media scheduler. Zoho Sites, not my favorite website builder in the world, but gets the job done. We built our first website on Zoho Sites before moving to WordPress. Zoho Sign, we cover in another course, ability to do e-signature and documents. Zoho Showtime, schedule, test, trainings, or not tests, schedule trainings and be able to do kind of online conferencing and trainings and webinars from their training platform. Zoho Sales IQ, have a chat bot that can answer messages on your website or just do live chat. Zoho Recruit, be able to post job openings and post them to different job boards. Zoho Projects, task and team collaboration. We use it to build the Workflow Academy, as you can see here. Zoho People, an HR information system for tracking time off and pay and performance and all sorts of good HR stuff. Zoho Notebook, an online synced notebook. Zoho Meeting, web conferencing. Zoho Marketing Hub, marketing automation. Zoho Mail, check out, here's my spam folder. This is actually a really, really powerful mail alternative to Office 365 or G Suite. Zoho Inventory for inventory tracking. Zoho Forms for web forms that integrate really well with CRM. Zoho Flow as a Zapier killer to integrate your different apps together, especially within the Zoho suite. Zoho expense reporting and tracking that syncs to your books. Zoho Desk for customer service management. Zoho CRM for managing your entire business, quoting, leads, deals, accounts, automation, everything. Zoho Connect to be a kind of internal social media network. Zoho Click to replace Slack and allow you to instantaneously collaborate. Zoho Campaigns for email marketing that syncs really well with your CRM. Zoho Bookings for letting people schedule appointments with you that sync to your calendar to check and see when you're busy. Zoho Backstage for scheduling events and creating a website for your events. Zoho Assist for doing remote support, being able to log into customers' screens, kind of like a team viewer. And Zoho Analytics for linking many and or almost all of these Zoho apps in to create dashboards and report on what's been happening. Whew. Anyone else exhausted? I'm feeling a little bit exhausted. That is the gamut of the Zoho One suite. That's the kind of value that you get for a pretty small subscription, all things considered. So it's no wonder that my business partner always says, any business that can be on Zoho One, if they could just wave a magic wand and be on Zoho One, they would do it. There are more reasons to switch to Zoho One than cost savings alone. Integrated suite, really quality products, best in class, a lot of them, and all sorts of different reasons that we'll cover elsewhere in this course to talk about why Zoho One makes sense. Having said all of that, there is so much value in this product. You have the potential to save so much money versus what you're already paying for or what you might need to pay in the future. So this calculator kind of breaks down exactly how much you might save off your existing stack or off software that you've targeted kind of for the future. It will take a little bit of time and thinking for you to put this together for yourself. This is totally editable. You can download this into an Excel spreadsheet and edit it for yourself. We do like to break down, you're going to need to do the thinking of exactly what users use which software and who you'd like to have access to which types of software. We've broke this down for a fake company called Affluence Financial Planning that employs these people. So in the next video, we'll go over how to actually manipulate this spreadsheet and get it to spit out final values. But what you'll see is very, very similar to what we've experienced in migrating people to Zoho. We see a lot of numbers like this, about $12,000 for a company of 55 for all of their entire software stack, right? And by switching to Zoho One, in this case, they have savings of about $10,000-ish a month and over $125,000 in 1 year. That level, that amount of savings between 50 and 90% is honestly really common. I don't want to be all used car salesman-y on you and tell you you're going to save stupid amounts of money and switch now. But honestly, if you break it down, there's a good chance that you can get some crazy good cost savings while upgrading your software stack if done correctly. So definitely something to think about. Go on to the next video to learn more of how to use this calculator for yourself if it isn't already kind of apparent. Okay, now let's take a quick look at this calculator. It's very straightforward. We break down in column A the app that you're talking about. Again, feel free to add and remove from this. You can just manipulate it like any Excel spreadsheet, inserting and deleting rows as you'd like. So we look at the app in column A. Column B, we have the per user pricing, if it is a per user price. Column C, we outline which teams are using it. Column D, which users, how many users are using it. And then we go ahead and outline and cost. And in column E and F, some apps aren't priced on a per user basis. Pardot, for instance, doesn't matter how many users you have in it. It's just a $1,300 starting monthly fee. So that's how we outline non-per user pricing is in column F. And then column G is a formula that includes both the per user calculation as well as any associated monthly fees. So that's how we walk through everything. It's very, very, very helpful to do a breakdown like this over here to say you have X number of staff and then to, in column C, outline which staff you want to have access to which apps. So if you look through here, we have 51 users on Salesforce at $75 a month. We have the $1,300 a month Pardot plan. We have 35 DocuSign users. They're a financial planning company. They send a lot of contracts. Everyone's on G Suite. Everyone's on Slack. Their customer service team's on Zendesk, on the smallest plan of Zendesk. They do some apps in SurveyMonkey, some surveys in there. Their marketing team uses Hootsuite. They all use LastPass. They all, again, financial planners. A lot of them use Calendly to set up appointments. Financial team uses QuickBooks Clipfolio for analytics and dashboarding, and then Zapier for integrating everything together. Now, one important thing to note before we look at the monthly cost, you don't necessarily have to switch off of all of these apps when you move to Zoho One. If you are comfortable with G Suite, this pricing is not that bad, and Zoho actually integrates extremely well with G Suite. So if that type of migration doesn't seem like it'd be worth it, it's only $330 a month, let's go ahead and stick around with G Suite and just integrate it into Zoho One. Same thing with Slack, same thing with LastPass. A lot of those, QuickBooks is a good example. A lot of those kind of operationally tough to migrate and fairly inexpensive apps, it doesn't make sense to switch midstream in the way that it might for Salesforce with this big honking price tag. So feel free to add and delete apps as you decide which ones might end up saving you lots of money and which ones really aren't going to save that much in the long run and would be a pain to migrate. Now let's take a look at this final monthly cost. We've calculated this out, $7,500 about dollars a month for their entire software stack. And then we calculate over here on the $30 a month Zoho One plan, paying for all of their employees, all 55. They're looking at $1,650 a month, which projects out to monthly cost savings of $5,800 and annual cost savings of $70,000. So big cost savings available for switching to Zoho One. Now, one other thing to consider in making this value analysis. These are the apps that they are currently paying for, Affluence Financial Planning. And that's fantastic if we can switch even a few of them over to Zoho One, especially Salesforce is a huge cost driver for us. Salesforce and Pardot alone constitute almost $5,000 or a little over $5,000 a month compared to $1,650 from Zoho One. So that's one piece of value that you'll gain. But another thing to consider is that number one, not everyone at the company has 55 users, has access to all of these apps. You're paying on a per user basis. So on a lot of them, only certain employees have access because you don't want to pay more for employees where it might not be as valuable. It might not be worth the price of admission to get them access. For instance, SurveyMonkey, it could be totally helpful to have multiple employees across multiple different teams be able to create surveys. You can use them for internal processes, you can use them for marketing, you can use them for operations. So it might make sense to get more people access, but do the dollars and cents kind of add up? Maybe not. In Zoho One, you can change this entire users column to 55. Meaning every single person at the company can theoretically have access to every single app. Now, in practice, what this means is that you can involve everyone in your business processes. There's no longer any limiting factor to give someone a Salesforce login because you know it's going to cost a pretty penny every year. You can just go ahead and pull the trigger knowing that it's going to be free. You're not paying any more for adding them than you're already paying. So that's the first shred of value you're going to extract from here. The second that I want to walk through is if we look at this list of Zoho One apps, you'll see that there are some pieces that they don't even have a correlate for right now. This is all the software they're paying for right now. What jumps out to me first and foremost, they don't have a remote customer support access to help people walk their customers through their financial docs. So that doesn't really quite come with their plan of Zendesk. Zoho Assist could help there. They don't have any sort of internal social media network that they can use to collaborate. Zoho Connect can handle that. They do have a lot of these pieces. The other one that jumped out to me was on the human resources side. They don't have any sort of human resource information system to track time off, performance management, et cetera, et cetera. They also don't have a recruiting platform, an applicant tracking system as they bring on new employees and to be able to kind of streamline that process of adding employees. That's something that gets really important as a company gets bigger. And then finally, they don't have Zoho Creator. I'm sure there are business processes within this company that they don't have solutions for. Creator allows you to build kind of custom apps and processes for your specific business. So all in all, not only are we getting more value just based off switching these apps, we're also allowing more users access to your apps, as well as giving you apps that you aren't even currently paying for, that if you get them for free included with your subscription, you'd be happy to use them. So that's kind of the basic breakdown of where to extract value out of Zoho One. Next up, you can pay for many of Zoho's different bundles. This is a package of multiple Zoho apps put together. This is CRM Plus, one of the most popular of the bundles. You can get Zoho CRM, Zoho Campaigns, Desk, Sales IQ, etc., all in one single bundle. Now, CRM Plus, where does it make sense? It makes the most sense. All of these bundles make the most sense if you only want a small subset of the apps. Maybe you only care about sales and marketing and don't need any HR tools, business process, finance, any of the other stuff that Zoho can do. Maybe you just care for your sales team. And second, maybe you don't want every single employee at your company. You don't want to pay with Zoho One for every single employee, right? Maybe you're a massive company and you only want a small team to have Zoho. We've had that a lot with big universities or large Fortune 500 companies where just a specific small team is going to be using Zoho. So there's a couple instances where a bundle can totally make sense and be more cost effective than Zoho One, or paying a la carte for each of the apps. Just to give you a quick overview of the bundles that most people are going to be using. CRM Plus is, in my experience, the most popular. You will get all of their sales and marketing tools, as well as project management and Zoho Analytics, and have access to that $50 per user per month. So this is a screaming good deal. This is easily a good enough price just for CRM and to get everything else on top of it. Really, really good value. Next up, the Finance Plus suite. This also really solid deal. Just includes 10 users. It's kind of per organization pricing. So this is kind of going head to head with something like QuickBooks. So to be able to manage this at a team of kind of this scale, and it's only $2 per additional user. So if you'd like expense reporting, it's really, really inexpensive to just add more and more and more users to that. So Finance Plus is kind of the back office. Workplace is a G Suite or Microsoft Office 365 competitor. You can see you'll get email, 5+ terabytes of file management, a Slack alternative, word processing, Excel, PowerPoint-esque tools, and then meeting, web conferencing tools, and then kind of Connect is like a social media platform for your business. People Plus, I don't often sell this. It's recruiting and HR management tools, performance management. Totally could work for you. Generally, this is larger companies that are looking to have bigger HR processes but don't want other Zoho apps. So if that fits you, then People Plus could be a good fit. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't also talk about your ability to pay for these apps individually. You are totally free to do so, and it can make sense in certain situations. Every single app is also sold a la carte. I like to say that in French to make you feel like, oh, this guy's way classy. He must really know what he's talking about. A la carte, you can pay for each app. That generally doesn't make sense to pay for more than, and this depends, but if you're going to use more than 2 or 3 Zoho apps, generally there's a bundle or Zoho One that's going to make it a little bit less expensive for you. So that's one thing to think about. But a lot of people I know just want to start with CRM. They just want to start there and maybe add apps as they go. And you are totally free to do so. You don't have to use a bundle. You can just go to any Zoho app and look at their pricing page. I have Analytics, Creator, Campaigns. Zoho CRM is probably my most often one that I sell just on its own. So absolutely look at them a la carte. In the pricing calculator, you'll be able to compare all the costs to see how much you're saving. So yeah. The following doesn't get talked about nearly enough, but it's a really good thing to be aware of. Zoho is all too happy to let you upgrade or downgrade your subscription, change subscriptions, unbundle, rebundle, upgrade to Zoho One, downgrade from Zoho One. You have so much flexibility in how you decide to pay for it. So this is just a small little look at kind of your payment portal. You have options to manage employees, add employees, reduce employees, change your plan. It does take a little bit. You have to email their support to get off of Zoho One and start paying a la carte, but you absolutely can start paying for Zoho One and then tell Zoho, hey, I'd rather pay for these 3 apps individually and shut the rest of them down for now. It's something that Zoho does that just flabbergasts me when I look at their competition, who will ink you to a 3-year deal or a 1-year deal and will just hold you to it. Zoho's fantastic about prorating refunds. They really, I really haven't found a company with better customer service around these subscriptions. I'll link you to a video on why I think that is. I attribute most of it to them not being publicly traded and thus not having quarterly income statements where they need to show rising revenues. So there's a lot to be grateful for there. So in summary, don't stress about this because you will be able to change as you go. Okay, my young Padawan learners, the time has come for you to use the Zoho Pricing Calculator and figure out what you're going to end up paying and what kind of bundle or a la carte or Zoho One is going to make the most sense. Now, the main thing to see is that anything in yellow, you need to adjust. Everything else calculates automatically. So in this scenario, we are saying that we're going to buy Zoho CRM. So the top is a la carte pricing. Here we have bundles. Here we have Zoho One compared to the other two. So in this scenario, we want to get Zoho CRM, Zoho Creator, Analytics, and Finance Plus. And we know what number of users we want for each app. And some apps have user kind of based pricing, and others like analytics and finance, you pretty much just pay a flat fee. And then in column F, sorry, I got ahead of myself. Column D, you need to choose whether it's a per user or a flat fee. So again, Zoho Analytics is a good example. You don't pay really per user, you just pick a tier and then pay. Same with Finance Plus. Then I've gone ahead and calculated the monthly price and the annual price, just so you kind of can see your options. So for instance, Zoho CRM is $35 a month per user for the annual plan, or if you pay monthly, it's $45 a month. So that's how we calculated this. And then everything else is calculated automatically. So you can see this is what the apps that we want. This is the amount that you'd pay for them for this number of users. If you're paying annually, or sorry, if you're paying month to month, and this is what you'd pay if you pay all up front. Right here is an example of if we did bundles. So in this scenario, rather than getting CRM, we would get all of CRM Plus. That's great. But you can see it ends up being a little more expensive, and we'll show kind of those calculations below. Then finally, so this is the bundle price if you went with CRM Plus versus just CRM and analytics, kind of a la carte. And then this right here, I say other apps you should look at. These are apps that aren't included here that you would get with Zoho One, right? And so if any of these kind of move the needle, then you might want to look at Zoho One. If not, then it's kind of just an apples to apples comparison. Now look here, the total number of employees is how we determine your Zoho One cost. So we just plug in the total number of employees at the company, and you get a total cost for Zoho One. So for 55 employees, getting access to every single Zoho app for all 55 of these employees actually ends up being much cheaper than paying a la carte or paying as a bundle. You can see paying month by month versus a la carte, you're saving about $8,500. Paying annually about $5,000, and then versus doing a bundle, it's obvious what's cheaper. Zoho One is way cheaper. So let's do an example of adding an app. Let's say that you've decided that you want to buy, where was it? Zoho Campaigns. So let's say that you need 20,000 subscribers for Zoho Campaigns, and you'd like to kind of price that out. So we can see if we pay monthly, we're going to pay $107 a month. If we pay yearly, we're going to pay $80 a month for these 20,000 subscribers. So let's add it to this. I will add Zoho Campaigns. The pricing tier is 20,000 subs. The pricing type is flat fee, we'll call it. So NA on the users. If we pay month to month, it was 108. And if we pay annually, it was 80, I think. And now now we can just copy paste this row down into these calculations to add it to our bundle cost. Oh, actually, I'm stupid. We don't need to because campaigns is included in CRM Plus. So here you can see that the a la carte has gotten a little pricier by about $1,000. And you get campaigns already in Zoho One, so your Zoho One costs, the amount you save actually has gone up a little bit. And again, you'll generally find that the more often you use, or the more Zoho apps that you are using, the better value you'll be getting for Zoho One. Now let's use kind of a different example. Let's actually say that all we really care about is Zoho CRM and Zoho Analytics. So we'll delete these apps from our calculation. And now let's also say that maybe we still have 55 employees, but instead we actually only need 20 users for our sales team. That's it. So you plug 20 users in, and you'll see, and we'll actually do that for the bundle as well. And you'll see that first off, the difference between the bundle and the flat user price is not that much, right? Paying for CRM Plus might make sense here. Everyone would get access to CRM and other apps, and the difference is only about $2,100. Yeah, about $2,000. So CRM Plus might be a great example. And then let's look at Zoho One. If all you care about is CRM, Zoho One is actually way more expensive than what you need. It might make a lot more sense to look at using a bundle or just paying individually for CRM and analytics. Doesn't matter. There isn't a bad or wrong way to look at Zoho. It's just what your company needs. And I should illustrate as well. You might as well start with CRM and analytics, and you can always upgrade to CRM Plus in a month if you decide that you like the other apps. Or you can upgrade to Zoho One in 6 months or a year or 5 years when you decide that it ends up being worth it for you and your organization. So you are not railroaded into a decision. You can start small and grow from there. Whew. Is anyone else feeling hot now? Having gone through all those? Is anyone else just kind of freaking out a little bit at how much software that is? It's crazy. Zoho is crazy. I know I sound like a used car salesman. That's not the vibe I want to give off, but it's insane how much software they're giving you. Now let's talk pricing. Click on this little pricing tab. Zoho One is priced kind of uniquely, incredibly inexpensive, extremely good value, best value for software out there. It's $30 per employee per month. So for 10 employees, you're going to be paying $300 per month. That is the annual pricing. If you pay month to month, it's $35 an employee. So not that much more expensive. And there's one big pricing caveat. We'll talk more in depth about this in the next video, but just be aware, to secure this pricing, you must purchase a license for all employees. If you are going to have 20 employees at your company, you're going to have to pay $600 a month, whether or not they are all using Zoho One. Again, in the next video, we'll cover why Zoho prices it that way. But just be aware, you have to pay for all employees. Okay, people always ask me, what the heck is going on with Zoho One's pricing? Let's talk about it. It does take a little bit of time to wrap your head around. The idea of Zoho One is that they're giving you a stupid amount of software, right? Enough that almost any business would be able to have all the tools they need to run pretty much every aspect of their business. Zoho itself runs its company on Zoho tools. So they've built all these tools for themselves and they're saying, go ahead, use it. So the answer is, the answer to the question of why they're charging for all employees, their assumption is that you're going to have every single employee using this. You're not just paying for the CRM and giving access to 4 of your users to the CRM. The idea is that you'll use email hosting and cloud storage and sharing and everyone will use your HR information system, Zoho People, to clock in and out and do performance reviews, and that everyone will have access to the CRM and will use Zoho Meeting to collaborate. Like, the idea is that you'll all be on Zoho. Now, that doesn't preclude you from paying for Zoho One and then integrating other apps that you'd like to use. For instance, you can still pay for Zoho One and pay for G Suite if you really, really like Google's suite of productivity tools. But the idea on Zoho's part is that for them to give you such a good deal, they want you to pay for every single employee. Now, in the next video, I'll answer kind of some frequently asked questions about that. So hold those for a second. Right now, I do want to talk about flexible user pricing. In my experience, this isn't as good of a deal as potentially just paying for Zoho Apps a la carte. You're still 100% allowed to go and just pay for CRM like you would any other app. So there are other Zoho options. If you're really bulking at this and you think only a few users in your organization need to use Zoho, then you might want to explore, like I said, a la carte pricing, CRM Plus, any of Zoho's other bundles that you can look at. Feel free to drop a comment or email us with any questions about pricing. We'd be happy to help you think through it and think through the best way to structure your Zoho system.